Am I wrong for not giving my cheating wife another chance? Plus update. Original post. Me, 39 male, and my wife, 33 female, have been together for 13 years. She recently went away on a girls' trip. I was not worried at all. I have never had a reason to distrust her, and she's never done anything to give me a cause for concern. And it's not like she was even going abroad. She was going to Butlins half an hour away, for God's sake. She went with her sister and a few other girls. She called me up this morning, and I didn't expect anything other than her checking in. She's only been away one night of a 3-night trip. When I answered, she was crying and incoherent. When I finally calmed her down, she told me that she had slept with someone else the night before. Supposedly, she met a guy who she approached, they flirted a little and danced together, and she thought that's as far as it would go, but he supposedly just charmed her into a kiss, which turned into making out, which turned into her asking him to walk her back to her hotel, which turned into them having sex. She says nothing was amiss. He wasn't pushy or weird, and they actually had sex multiple times because she would say they need to stop, and he would stop immediately, and then after a few minutes she'd want him to carry on, and he would. And he supposedly never even finished because of the stopping and starting thing. This supposedly went on for 3 hours, and she eventually said stop for good and asked him to leave, and he did. The guy is supposedly 10 years younger than her. She said that she lied and told him she was through a divorce. She says that she doesn't even know what came over her, and she just wanted to see if she still had it but got carried away. 14 years married for 10, and we have a 7-year-old daughter, and I want to leave her. She's BGing me not to, offering marriage counseling, never going out again, never drinking again, etc., etc. I've always been a one-chance sort of guy. I just told her to go F herself and have been ignoring her since about 10 a.m. Now her sisters and friends are calling me too. They apparently had no idea she had even gone home with him. They saw them talking but thought nothing of it. I just want them to all leave me alone. I told my mom about it, and she said that I should think of my family and that my wife seems genuinely remorseful and didn't try and hide anything and came clean straight away. That it's not like she had an affair, and that is bad as it is. This is the best case scenario. After that conversation, I feel like I'm insane. Am I wrong for not even considering forgiving her? Now for the comments before reading the update. You're not wrong at all. She BRKE your trust. Now every time she goes anywhere will she do this again, and she didn't have sex with him one time. She told you it was multiple times. Turn your phone off and take your daughter out for a meal. Spend time with her before your wife gets home and starts love bombing you both and strong-arming you. You can forgive and forget, but understand you don't have to accept and stay. Edit. Please understand I didn't say you had to forget what she's done and stay with her. I said forgive her for what she's done, but that doesn't mean you have to stay because at the end of the day, a very important boundary was BRKen by choice. So he also deserves that same choice of being able to say, I choose to walk away from this because of your actions to disrespect my boundaries. When I say forget, I mean forget the person from before the transgression. That person is no longer there, so that person is gone. The person you loved didn't cheat on you. That person is now in the past. So forget that person and understand the person before you now is some entirely new and move accordingly to who they are now and not who they once were. I agree with that 100%. Trust is BRKen. You are not wrong. Some will deem marriage counseling, but I personally couldn't forgive this. 3 hours of deception is a long time, and she knew it was wrong. I'm so sorry, OP. I get the one and done. Dude, leave. All those times she was stopping the other guy to continue, she probably was questioning if she should continue, and guess what? She did multiple times. Now for the update. So my wife came home last night after giving me the day to cool off. I asked to see the guy. I don't know why, maybe I'm a seeker for punishment, and of course he looks like a superhero. So that's great. Guy looks like Anthony Joshua or something. For the record, my wife is beautiful, like perfect teeth, works out regularly, etc. I'm not ugly, but I'm just a typical English guy. Not overweight, but could probably lose a few pounds. Bit of a dad bod, etc. Still have a full head of hair, which is nice. I always felt so lucky to be with her. She was an amazing partner, an amazing mother, funny, intelligent, etc. Asked her to lay out what happened to me in more detail. I wanted to catch any lies or changes in the story, test her consistency. She basically says she was at the bar and the guy was standing next to her. They glanced at each other and she said, "Where did you come from?" to him. He asked what she meant, and she said he was the first handsome man she's seen. And that's how the conversation got started. As for her telling him she was divorcing, what happened when he glanced down, noticed her ring, and asked her about it. Apparently once she said that he went on to say, "Not like I give an F either way, what a gent." I asked if she thinks he could have slipped her anything, and she says it's impossible because they only did shots together. I asked if she took any DRGs, and she admitted to doing coke with her friends, which isn't all that surprising if you're from the UK and you're into drinking culture. It's pretty standard. A few of you seem to be American, so let me explain what exactly a butler inn is. It's basically a holiday resort usually for families, but they sometimes host adult exclusive weekends where it's a pretty big party place. It's cheap and grimy and can be a lot of fun. People dress up, there's DJs, live music, multiple venues, and late night entertainment, etc. As for people saying she got caught by her friends, she actually didn't. She disappeared with a guy and went home with him. Texted her friend she was tired and wanted to go to sleep. And as they were on the resort and the hotel's like a 3-minute walk, they all just said to text when she was safe in her room. She was sharing a room with her sister, but she was in their other friend's room drinking a dew and coke because they thought she was sleeping. She told the guy to leave at around 6 a.m. because she thought her sister might be coming back soon, as that's when the party usually winds down. I asked her how many times she had sex with a guy, and she said 4 or 5 times, lasting between 5 and 10 minutes each time. Apparently even after cheating she never thought that she'd sleep with the guy. She says that she just wanted to give him oral, so she did that. But the guy said that he could only finish through sex. She didn't believe him until 20 minutes later. He still wasn't done, so she gave up and climbed on top of him. But then after 5 minutes she thought, what the F am I doing, and got off of him. Then laid there and cuddled him and drank more, and then 10 minutes later they would be touching each other again. This repeated 4 or 5 times. She says that she kept thinking it was wrong, but then would think it's too late now anyway, so might as well carry on and basically go through a loop of that. I asked her why she felt the need to see if she still had it, and she says since she hit 30 she's been self-conscious of her aging. That when she spots a new wrinkle or something it drives her to tears. She said that chatting to the guy made her feel young again, and she latched onto that. Also, apparently the guy was there with a girl who my wife said looked like a younger version of herself. And the guy pointed her out to my wife and said, "That girl over there watching us has a crush on me," and laughed about it. After he had been talking to my wife for like 30 minutes, the girl had enough, walked over and KC'd the table, spilling the guy's drink, and then stormed off. She says that the guy picking her over a younger woman drove her ego crazy, and that was when she decided to kiss him. I asked her why she even told me, and she said that when she woke up, she saw that I'd sent a selfie of me and her daughter eating pizza together, and it sent her into a nervous breakdown. That she was all wailing and sobbing so loud it woke up her sister, and that's when she confessed. Her sister told her she was insane for what she did and wasn't very comforting, and then left the room mad at her, which made it worse, and that's when she called me. I've asked her to leave the house for a few days, and she is staying at her mother's house while I decide what I want to do. She BG'd me not to make her leave, but she did when I said it was the least that she could do after blowing up her entire lives over Wrinkles making her sad. As for my mother, she still thinks I should forgive her. For context, my dad died about a year ago, and my wife has really been a rock for my mom. I cannot see her as much as I would like due to my work, but my wife is a self-employed lash nail tech and has a lot of free time which she uses to spend with my mom to keep her company, do her hair, and have girly days to try and make sure she doesn't get lonely. Like I said, she was such a perfect partner. No, I don't think my mom is a cheater or whatever, and she is very angry at my wife, but she loves her and she just wants everything to be okay. My daughter has no idea what is happening. She was already asleep when my wife came and went again. She will just think that mummy is still on a holiday. I still have no idea what I'm going to do. Honestly, I'm still reeling. But that's basically everything. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for seeking my brother and his family out after his son stole my engagement ring? Plus update. Original post. The reason a 26 male. No, this is because I literally caught him in my room going through my things and it's freaking on camera. My nephew is 9 and has a habit of stealing things. They've gotten in trouble a few times at stores because he'd leave something in his pockets, but of course because he's a kid, they usually just say he forgot he had it. Even at school, my brother has told me they have had to come talk to the principal on a couple of occasions. Doesn't seem like they've done anything to stop it. They had to come stay here with me because my brother lost his job and they weren't going to make it with all their bills including rent. He's doing Uber while he searches for a job and they can move out. I didn't want to because of my nephew specifically, but family is family, I guess. A month ago, I finally bought an engagement ring for my girlfriend that I was planning on proposing to soon, but now I don't know. It's a $4,000 ring that I spent over a year saving up for. It's been hidden in my room under one of my drawers. One time when I found him snooping in my room, I told my brother to control his damn kid, then got one of those cheap spy cams in my room just in case. Then last week I noticed it was out of its box. After checking the cam, it showed he was in there again when I wasn't home. My brother and his wife have yelled at him. He says he left it by the TV in the guest room, but it's not there. They looked through all their stuff and his too. I know for a fact he's lying about not having it because that's the same thing he said about one of my watches he took then ended up finding it. By the second day my brother tells me that they can't find it at all, and I told him that either they find the ring or he repays me the $4,000 I spent on it. If not, they can't stay here anymore. My brother got really upset. He told me I know how their situation is right now, and yeah, it's a tough spot, but I couldn't ignore the fact that his kid he can't parent took something extremely important to me that cost a lot of time and money. They were given a week to leave my house if they don't find the ring. They're having to stay at a cheap motel, but my brother won't stop begging to come back because of what they're paying right now. Each night is coming directly out of their savings. He won't stop calling me heartless about letting something like this come between helping them out through a difficult time, and my nephew keeps saying he's sorry. It's just hard right now to want them around. I don't even know what to do about the ring, and every time I think about it, it just makes me so mad that it's hard to care about their situation. Does that make me in a hole? No, it doesn't, because I'd be upset too about something like that. Now for some relevant comments. Not a hole. It's a terrible situation, but they should have taken measures sooner to get the kid to stop stealing. Also, I'm not sure a kid that young can do anything with a $4,000 ring. It's not like he can go to a pawn shop and sell it. Do you have homeowner's insurance? Perhaps you can make a claim. However, that may cause more problems. Is it possible that your sister-in-law or brother found and sold the ring themselves? He liked shiny stuff. He stole a kid's bag of marbles from school just because he liked how shiny they were. Doesn't necessarily steal things because he thinks he can make money off of it. Redditor, they've sold the ring, that's why they can't give it back. What a load of thieves. My watch he stole is worth way more than the ring, and my brother already knew that because a year ago he was surprised I even owned one of those. Have a wealthy buddy who gives out those kind of gifts like they're free candy. If that was even the plan, they would have been smarter selling that instead. So I highly doubt they even did this. Oh Lord, first off, you bought your girlfriend a $4,000 ring. That was a lovely gesture. I certainly hope you have a lifetime of happiness ahead of you. Second, there's an old saying, if you live in a glass house, don't throw bricks. Your brother is relying on you financially. He should not have allowed his child to steal. And it's one I know she was going to love because she's told me about it for years. I'm really anxious about it and hope it just turns up. Don't care if it has to be forced out of them or by luck it pops up, but I really want to present it to her when I ask her to marry me. That's all I want, and this SCKS. Not the a hole. File a police report and file a claim with your homeowner's insurance. I don't have homeowner's insurance, it's not a house. Editor's note, UP later added more in the comments that he is just a tenant, and he is not allowed to make any changes to his apartment without his landlord's permission. And his landlord has quoted as, "You'd be surprised at the stupid SHT that he doesn't allow and the things he lets slide. Nobody knew I got a ring from my girlfriend. It's been hidden in my room before they even came to live with me." That same Redditor, it just seems odd that the ring is now gone. I know kids lose things because they put them in odd places. Just knowing your family is financially in trouble, although I don't know them personally, it wouldn't be inconceivable that they might have sold it. It's a possibility, but I also know that my nephew is a liar and likely knows where it is but won't say anything. This isn't the first time that something is stolen that he acts completely innocent about until it's found somewhere where he hid it. My brother already told me that they had savings before they moved in, so not that they just magically had money. Rent here isn't cheap, so depending on how many months he would have been without a job, it would have ran out fast anyway. Now since they don't have anywhere to go unless they want to head down to the homeless shelter, I think it's more that they don't really have a choice but to use that money. I will be calling the cops, though tired of playing nice. The thing with kleptomaniacs, they often don't know what to do with the things that they steal. He may have washed it down the sink, flushed it down the toilet, buried it in the garden, etc., just to hide it. It's not so much about having things, it's about taking them. It's highly unfortunate that he took something so important, and his parents definitely need to get him help, and should have done so already, which could have prevented this. Oh SHT, I never thought about this. All weekend I've been doing a deep cleaning trying to see if maybe he hid it somewhere. I'm freaking praying I find it soon. The watch he took from me was literally hidden inside one of his pair of shoes in the closet. I don't know why he does this, but there's definitely been times he's strategically hidden things he's stolen. Now for the update. So many of you have asked non-stop for an update. Sorry it took me a while to log back on, but a lot of stuff has been going on. Yes, I found the ring. It was a stressful day doing a deeper search my house trying to think like my nephew and looking in places where I think he might have hid something if he really didn't want it to be found, and the decision was if it really wasn't found and my brother wasn't able to get him to talk or they wouldn't be able to pay back what I owed them, the police would get involved. He did BG me not to, but I told him, then you better pray I find it or you come up with money to pay me for it. Guess both of our prayers worked, because guess where I found it? In the freaking sink. And that's thanks to the comments who told me to look in those places. I don't know what I would have done otherwise. It was the sink that was in their guest room. I'm glad he didn't just throw it away. You guys don't know how freaking relieved I was to find it. Took some work to remove the P-trap under the sink to get it out, but I was just happy to find it. Same night my girlfriend, fiancé, got back, I proposed to her and she said yes. After a nice romantic dinner, just the two of us at home. The plan was to wait, but after all this SHT I thought, F it, I'm proposing as soon as possible before anything else happens. After my brother heard about me finding the ring, he thought this meant that they could come back. I said no, I want to argue about this again. All I told him was he's lucky I haven't gone to the cops since there was already video evidence of his son taking the ring, and there's no way I'm letting them back in when my nephew wouldn't even say what he did with the ring. I talked with my nephew of myself after I found the ring, but he just said he didn't want to tell anyone because then I'd be mad at him for hiding it. Honestly, I just don't have the energy for them anymore. His problem is their problem, and hopefully they get him help before it's too late. Only thing important to me is my fiancé and I starting our lives and planning our wedding. Thank you Reddit for your help. Seriously, you guys were my lifesavers. Edit to add. I just received this news after already submitting my post for approval, and just wanted to add because I'm so happy. The girlfriend also informed me she's pregnant. She found out while she was on her trip and was waiting for a good time to tell me. Not related to the post, but I don't care. I'm gonna be a dad. That's all for today. If you're enjoying the story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below.